You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 88 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell, and today we're joined by co-host Kade Koger and Dakota Davis.
Today's episode is featuring guest Brent Terhune. Am I pronouncing Terhune right?
Sure, yeah. I say Terhune, so...
Terhune.
Yeah.
You obviously adopted the name from the movie Hoosiers.
Of course. They stole it from me and made their movie before I was born.
Damn them.
Yeah.
Brent is a all-around just great guy.
Sure. Well, give me a couple beers and I'll start
He won't drink.
saying how I really feel.
We tried.
His place is full of beer. He's just sticking with the Diet Pepsi for now.
Yeah.
You are a comedy writer. You make hilarious videos all over social media and a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be talking to you about everything. Life in general.
Yes.
Your videos, ghost hunting, Bigfoot.
So, all the stuff that's not real.
That's right.
We could throw in wrestling and make it a trifecta of things.
You're going to upset one of our biggest sponsors. You tell them wrestling's not real. Cover your ears, Brent.
I was on a wrestling podcast for 2 years, so if, I'm very dedicated to the fake thing. Predetermined, not fake.
Predetermined.
Yeah.
That's right. His is preordained.
So this show is about our lives in rural Indiana. As always, we promise our episodes are going to be a fun and an easy listen. Dakota, I checked. You made a promise to the listeners that the Patreon people were going to be rewarded.
I did, and just like the YouTube videos, I keep forgetting the SD card here, so it doesn't get put up. I don't know what to say.
This is the
feel
life
horrible.
Of, you moved to Spiceland, away from us. You don't live in town anymore.
Nope.
And the studio is not on the other side of your hallway. So now the listeners are suffering.
Yeah, it made some drastic changes in my life, like having to figure out how I'm supposed to get this stuff done whenever it's not just one bedroom over. But we'll figure it out. We'll get it up there.
You'll be all right. All right. So we have a promise to the Patreon people that there is new tinfoil time coming next week. And it's not Thursday yet. So we said last Thursday when we had the show. It's early. Thanksgiving screwed us. Nobody knew it was on a Thursday this year. So we had to do a Tuesday show.
Didn't see that one coming.
No, it was a shock to everybody. I was triple booked tonight. But I picked you people. Dakota, I think if you have the show up by Wednesday, the one with Tanner that we promised, I think we lived up to our commitment, and nobody should cancel their membership.
I think so too. Just as long as we can put it on a computer before we leave,
we get it uploaded, we'll be okay.
We're also adding a new tier on Patreon. We're going to do 3 episodes a week. You guys are. I'm just going to go ahead and
just going to add it in there.
There we go. Hey, you can pump some content in there for us if you want to.
I'm a stand-up content creator. That's what I do. So.
Oh.
That's it.
Is that a promise?
No.
and he's had 8 million people watch a video, and we're like, hey, that one went over 1,000.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, that one got 1,000 too for me. So there's no formula.
Yeah, you never
think. I don't know.
It is amazing because sometimes we'll have an episode and we think, wow, this one's going to do really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have like Mark Brim from last week on, who's just a friend from Richmond, and he'll do his numbers will skyrocket.
He's a big draw.
Yeah. Mark Brim is. Yes.
Mark has a lot of time on his hand, and he just hits download, reset podcast, download, reset podcast. Surely they'll invite me back.
And then we'll have somebody that we think is going to be just gigantic for us, and they'll get half the downloads. Yep. You just never know.
They let you down.
Know. There's
Don't get your hopes up. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah,
that's right.
We have no expectations, and it's always great now.
Perfect.
I haven't checked our download numbers in a month, to be honest. I just do it. I just like to do it. I'd come in here, pump it out. Love it.
Just in it for the love of the game now.
Yep, that's right.
All right, what else we got to talk about before we get into the fun stuff, Dakota?
Well, of course, we need to thank the people on Patreon, because even though I haven't uploaded their bonus content and we haven't had tinfoil time, they've stuck with us until this point. We haven't lost anybody, so I feel hopeful about that. And
I was threatened after last week's.
You were threatened?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I saw a threat.
I was
on
disrespectful
Facebook one
and
time.
I was threatened.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. How horrible of you.
The feels, man.
But anyway, no one has dropped us yet, I should say. And we appreciate all of you people who donate to us every month. You keep the electricity bills paid and you keep the rent paid for this studio. Hop on over to patreon.com/Boss Hog of Liberty and you can sign up there and become a part of this. And also the Amazon wish list is still up. We have some other things that we'd like to get for the studio, and if you could help us out, that would be great. Just search for us on Amazon, and we have a profile there.
And I'm remembering that we actually got a new Patreon member this last week. Do you remember that?
Yep, we did. What?
Jesus.
What do you want me? What do you want me to say?
Right here, guys.
All right, all right. Here we go. We picked on Chase. I'm scrolling through the chat because I know you screenshotted it and sent it over to me as to who the guy was. And man, we used to thank them every week when we get a new Patreon member. We'd thank them. We'd say, "Hey, thank you. You joined.
Do you want
You're
me
amazing."
To do this?
I was looking, but now I've given up. Mostly our inner chat here that we use to plan the show is us picking on Chase, who in an epic troll back just decided to call in today and say, "Oh no, I'm not coming." So that's how we got Kade.
Yep.
And we're thankful you did because
default to me.
Jason Harold is our new Patreon member.
There we go.
Jason joined this past week. I got the nice email that has a little megaphone that's got confetti coming out of it that says "new Patreon member." Woo!
It's great.
Well, thank you, Jason. The best part is I don't personally know all the Patreon members now, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's always great. Jason, I searched for you on Facebook. I couldn't find you, so join Facebook for me.
Maybe it's somebody that's on there with a fake name.
Maybe.
So we did advertise that Chase was going to be here. Chase is hunting down in southern Indiana. He said he wasn't going to be back in time. Kade Koger is with us today, and you killed all of your deer within the first hour on Saturday morning. So you're legally forbidden to go back and kill any more deer.
Murder!
I've still got some bonus antlers tags to fill, but I think I'm good for the season. Yeah. So I've got enough in the freezer and got a decent trophy out of it. So
there you go.
He's never going to have to buy red meat again.
Brent, have you killed all of your deer for the year?
I ran over a deer. I didn't hit one, but I ran over what was left of it. And I went and got an oil change, and they're like, "Man, did you hit something?" Knowing full well that, yes, I had, and that's why I took it to get the oil change and not do it myself. And I was like, "I don't know, man. Is there something under?" And they pulled this piece out. And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that happened."
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Wow.
Yeah, I once may have theoretically impacted a raccoon in a Ford at 65 miles an hour and thought nothing of it. Then 2 days later, looked at the front of the car and went, "Boy, those bumpers aren't made of much." It went right through the damn thing. So yeah, it's I don't remember fishing any parts or pieces out of it though.
Yeah, I didn't either. It was the Jiffy Lube's job.
You outsourced it.
Yeah.
For $65, damn it, you can take the rotting deer carcass out of it.
It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
Mike Rowe actually was changing my oil.
Oh, nice.
The dirty jobs. So.
Sweet.
It's good timing. What luck? Oh, so let's get to know our guest a little bit. Brent's from Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
You're you went to Ron Colley, so I assume you're a good Catholic guy. So you were a
former Catholic. I'm a good person still. I try.
I went from an altar boy to an apathetic Baptist, so I understand.
Yeah.
No, I'm good with God, but I don't have to go.
Yeah, He knows how you feel in your heart.
Right.
So you're also a UIndy graduate?
Yep.
Which is another Catholic school, right?
It's Methodist.
Oh. Huh.
Change sides.
Yep, I flipped.
He's a Protestant.
Turns out all I needed was a scholarship. I'm for sale.
My wife went to UIndy for 1 year.
For nursing.
No.
Okay. Half of the people that go there for nursing.
She thought she was going to be a doctor. She really had dreams.
Physical therapy.
Like
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she went there. I thought it was Catholic because one time I went and visited her and had lunch, and there were Catholic nuns that were walking around campus.
Yeah, they're trying to infiltrate the place. Wow.
Those are some dirty tactics being pulled by Catholics.
They came down from Marian University.
They went all the way from
UIndy.
30th Street to Shelby Street.
Yeah, their territory wasn't big enough.
It's like It's like the gangs. We're
What are you doing
south of
on
70.
our turf?
Recruiting from wizardry school.
Bunch of
Wizardry.
penguins.
So
Get out of here.
So Dakota wants to know if Roncalli is the birthplace of comedy. Are the halls filled with? Is there a Hall of Fame
There's
for
a lot
Roncalli
of funny
comics?
people from Roncalli. Ben Polizzi, Jeff Oskey, who is the camera guy for Bob and Tom, and he was a writer for Bob and Tom still. Jimmy Mad Dog Matus. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
I'm very familiar with Jimmy Mad Dog Matus. I don't think Dakota has any idea because he was born in 1996. But
yeah, he was. He
writes.
did stand up, but then,
he rides the Harley out for every Colts game.
I don't know. Does he? Does he?
so.
I don't.
He
Watch
used to.
sports. But yeah, so there's a lot of funny at Roncalli.
Yeah,
There we go.
Well, I had it right in the show notes. I just put it in there because I was like, I need one more line to make this to make this page look good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy I know out in LA that does stand up and improv, so that went to Roncalli too. So yeah, there's funny people there for sure.
So you had a video after the Roncalli scandal that we covered pretty heavily on the show. Mm-hmm. It was a pretty serious video, and after watching that one, I then understood that every other video on your channel is very serious as well.
Yes, they're all to be taken seriously and literally. I have no sarcasm and satire.
It's hard to balance that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like my Facebook page. Half of it's funny and half of it's serious.
Half of it's like drop dead serious.
Nobody knows how to take it.
Well, see, the thing about Brent's was that was the only serious one that I found on there. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be funny about Roncalli.
Yeah. No,
Boy, he's taking like 5 minutes and I haven't had a punchline yet. This guy
he
sucks.
is slacking on this one. I just more so the video is for kids who are gay and LGBTQ. If you don't know where to go, as far as they just essentially kicked out a gay staff member, and then that's how you find kids commit suicide. If I could bring the mood up for a minute. No, that's how that happens is because they don't have a place to go to, So I just figured I would say something about it.
It was
a good video.
I really appreciated it at the time, watching it and seeing it in the community. You saw, it's a tough issue, and we talked about it in the show at the time. At the time it happened, obviously equal opportunity is a big deal. Religious freedom is also a big deal, and schools should be able to do what they want to do. But you also you have to balance if everybody's mad at you and nobody comes to school anymore, or they demand change, then your policies aren't going to work.
The biggest way to change is to change how you donate, and money talks.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. So it was
market work.
It was a very 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 well received video. That said, that's a terrible way to introduce you as a stand-up comic.
My shows are very depressing.
I wanted to get that. I appreciated the video and I appreciated what you said in it. So I wanted to bring it up, and I was like, I can't talk about the ghost hunting videos.
Yeah, it's very hard to.
So we just need to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Say we appreciate it. It was a good video.
I'm expecting 2 or 3 good suicide jokes at the end too.
Yeah, be perfect.
You got to weave them in. Weave them in. So Brent has, I didn't realize that when I've watched him, and he's on my radar, and we're not in the same circles. This is literally the first time we've met, but we know a lot of the same common friends and people, and live in this weird content. We've added ourselves to this world. Nobody asked us, say, hey, you want to be podcasters? No, we just kind of self-invented, hey, we're content creators now, and people show up. But we live in the same world and talk to a lot of the same people. So I didn't realize that you had as much success. I was like, hey, he's got a video over 1 million. And he's like, no, dumbass. He's got over 7 million.
And the Indie Star reported one was over 10. So
yeah, that the Indie Star is cool because it's it's local validation of, hey, mom.
Yeah.
It's like working for Bob and Tom. If you're a comedian from Indiana, the first question is, you've been on Bob and Tom, kind of thing. So. It was cool to be recognized,
Yeah, so you do some writing for the Bob and Tom show, right?
Yeah.
I want to know,
is that like a 9 to 5? We expect jokes. You have your last joke has to be delivered at 4:59. You can punch the clock.
And that's
and go
where
home.
the worst ones come in.
Yeah.
Is I had a joke recently that I wrote about a stack of wood or whatever is called a rick, and like they had a Murder of Crows and a Pride of Lions, and the Rick was written at 4:59 of like, I don't know what to call this, so
It's
Rick,
a Rick.
that's what it's called. I was an intern from UIndy, and I went to school for communication and radio. So then my friend Jeff Oskey was already working there, so I was like, well, that's a possibility to get a job there. So I did an internship for 4 months, and then afterwards they just kept me. So it's cool. I can be on the road, and I don't have to get up early for the show. I can just write. So after this, I'll go home and write for the show tomorrow.
I did notice as we communicated with Brent that most of his responses would be at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I'm up pretty late. So
like it's like in our world we deal with detailers in India where they'll work on something overnight and then we'll come back and we'll have emails from over the evening. That's like dealing with Brent. He keeps the hours of the.
I also write for a lot of Indian shows, so that's why I keep those hours.
You want to be accessible.
Yeah.
How does writing for the Bob and Tom show work? Do they all have a script and they're just all really good actors of making it look like it's ad-libbed?
I mean, those guys could be funny. They don't need it, but they are on the air for 4 hours.
Don't get rid of your job.
Okay, I know. Yeah, they don't need me.
I'm quite sure
I'm putting
Tom
in my
doesn't
2 weeks
listen.
right now.
Grace and Jess might listen from time to time, but
Yeah.
Tom has no idea who we are. And I think Chick's met me twice.
Yeah. I guess what the process, because they're funny but they're on for 20 hours a week of in between commercials and stuff like that. So a lot of it is it's like writing for late night. You have a topic of a truck of blank crashed. Those are my favorites, when a truck crashes and you hope it's two things like peanut butter and chocolate that go together. For Reese's, so, and then I just write jokes of, if I try to get 3 jokes per, headline. So,
Do you have a boss that like approves your jokes and they're like, no, not doing this one?
Nope.
This
I mean,
one goes
they
in.
all go to Tom, so I don't know if he's.
They go
got the big
directly
red
to the big
pen.
man.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So he just uses them or he doesn't.
Yeah. And sometimes,
That's cool.
the story is, you can't top what this happened in the story, so sometimes you can try and write as many jokes for a news story as you can, but you're just not going to be funnier than what happened in real life. And I've also written, there's always fake commercials or fake, songs or whatever, and I do those, but I really enjoy just the topical. Give me the ingredients and let me make it funny, as opposed to that's harder when I'm trying to create something out of nothing,
You're gonna force this into yeah.
I know, yeah. It's a fun game to see if I can make it funny.
But yeah, I like that. Huh. I was genuinely curious about how that worked.
Are you let down now?
No. I like it.
Man, it's work. He goes to the joke factory and he works at it.
It's better than what I
punch
thought
in.
because I really thought that you were going like, all right, Christy, I'm writing this joke for her.
Yeah.
And then I'm writing this joke for Chick, and you give it all to them, and they just see it, and they are like, all right, have
Here's
to work
the
this
script.
one in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad to know that's not the case.
Yeah, she's practicing saying, Tom's a dick. Tom's a dick?
No,
Tom's a dick.
Yeah, I need
In the
the
mirror.
third one. Give me the third one.
It's in the mirror every morning.
Yeah. She's warming up before the show. So that's been a lot of fun and I've gotten to meet, when I was in the studio or I can go in, I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people, Kevin Smith and Jim Gaffigan, Brian Regan.
Big Brian Regan fan.
If I could drop names of some of my best friends.
I had no idea. I had no idea he was so old. Then I'm like, oh God, I was listening to him when I was in high school, and I've been out for 20 years. But Brian Regan's like 60 something now.
Yeah, his brother Dennis Regan is very funny too. They look exactly the same.
Just a stunt double.
Yeah, they have the same cadence. I mean, when you're around somebody for that long, you're just going to talk like them. But his brother is very funny too, Dennis.
The lesser known. It's kind of like the Wahlburgers.
Yeah, it's got to be like Tony Rock is Chris Rock's brother, or Jordan Rock is Chris Rock's brother, where it's, the lesser known of those people. It's got to be weird to have to live up to Chris Rock.
Yeah. Is that something you put on your resume? Chris Rock's brother.
Yeah,
So-
well, Kevin Farley does.
Once every 10 years, he gets a show. He gets to do something. Do we have to explain who Chris Farley was to you?
Yes, I know who Chris Farley was. You don't.
Jim Belushi,
I know who Jim Belushi is too. I don't know who the first guy you were talking about is though.
Dennis Regan.
Yeah.
Okay, look
Do you
him
know who
up.
Brian Regan is?
No, that's what I was talking. Yeah, I don't know who that is at all.
He's a very funny, clean stand-up comic. But Jim Gaffigan and Brian Regan both work very clean.
And and Brian Regan is one of those weird where you wouldn't know him from anything. People just know him from stand-up.
Yeah, he's
Same
not
as
an actor.
Like almost a Gabriel Iglesias. He's been in more like small movie roles and stuff, but you just kind of know Gabriel Iglesias just for doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what Chris Rock said, he's like, I do the movie so I can go do stand-up. Like, that's the reason I do any kind of video online is so people come to my show on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Just so people can see you and then maybe are curious enough to come to a live show, So
let's talk about this as one of the reasons that because we've hung out in this comedy world for the last year and a half, 2 years, 3 years. And we spent a lot of time, Dakota and I did, and some of the others that have been around the show used to go to Morty's when Morty's was around. And you would go and, you get to know the comics that are hanging out, the guys that are trying to break in. In Indianapolis, because of the Bob and Tom show, and I think because of social media and the comedy clubs we have, has been a breeding ground where local comics can actually come and make it.
Yeah.
But it seems like the model has changed a little bit, where now we're all... I'm not a comic, but we're all in this social media world trying to figure out how do I use Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever to give myself a platform.
Yeah.
And then you try to be funny or get noticed somehow. And then also you're using it to try to get dates so that you can go to Wiley's or you can get booked. You said you're going to be in Tulsa. You're going to be in Indianapolis. You're going to be in New York State.
Just to have, if the club doesn't have to work any harder to get people to show up. Like if I can, a good example is like a Bert Kreischer or, somebody like that where he's got a big podcast following. He's got specials and all you have to do is put his name up on something and people will show up.
Every show will sell out.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the same for a lot of, I can't remember the guy's name, Matt something, where he drinks wine and he does comedy club dates. He's not a comedian, but he could do, 4:00 on a Saturday. And a lot of comedians will say, it's like YouTube comedians where they're really funny on YouTube, but how do you monetize that and make money? And they could just do their own show at 4:00 on a Saturday at a comedy club and fill it with their people. I mean, that's what every comedian wants is their people to show up.
Yeah, you don't want to be trying to do your jokes and it's hit and miss of the regular Saturday night crowd in Tulsa. You have no idea if they're going to find
it's the people that want to be there. The people that want to be there for you, that it's going to make it a better experience for you, but also make you on the stage a lot more comfortable whenever you're talking and make your show better.
Yeah. It's like having an inside joke with 1,000 people. That's what a podcast is, because I listen to certain shows and they'll say a reference and I know exactly what they're talking about. It's having an inside joke, that personal connection with somebody.
And then you finally get to do a live show. And that's what the model that Spangle put together with We're Libertarians. We did once a month. We tried to do a podcast, which is probably too much for a live podcast. But the first 2 or 3 were, we filled the place.
Yeah.
And you had a massive crowd, and you'd have Vibbert or somebody would come in and do a little bit of a warm up or an open, and then you'd do an hour and a half of sitting there making fun of your friends.
Yeah,
and I know that it's a great group setting.
My wife and I went and saw Dan Cummins up in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we've been really big fans of his podcast
Time
for
Suck.
a while. Yep. Mm-hmm. And whenever he went on stage, one of the first things he did was go Yamo Time Suck, which is an inside joke from his show.
Yeah.
And a lot of people laughed, and he's like, some of you people are going to know what that means, and the other ones, I don't care.
I mean, he wants everybody to show up, but he wants those people for sure to show up, And it's so weird to watch people on social media where they just have a video that go viral and then they're like, oh, this could be something, but that was never the plan. So there's a couple people that I follow of like a guy that was ranting about, I love people that rant, about how he's just turning 50 years old and he doesn't want the government to take any more of his money and he's done working, he's done paying into the system. And of course that was shared by somebody with millions of followers. And now he's got some kind of following, and it's fun to watch him try to put out more videos along that same line.
Try to duplicate that first
But that
video.
was never, yeah. And then he's getting merch to sell online too. It's fun to watch because I know that wasn't his intention.
This is coming from a guy who you you've become the ironic redneck.
Oh yeah.
So you're the model. We'll say the recipe for the videos you've been producing. They're Donnie Baker-esque. Where I don't know if do you rent a backyard or do you have your own now that you're using as your
the
set?
Backyard that I've not taken. That's my backyard because I at first it was I would not cut the grass because I'd be on the road for 2 weeks. And then people would start commenting, "Why don't you cut your grass?" So now I don't cut the grass on purpose. There's a big privacy. If my neighbors could actually see the yard, I'd be a little more considerate. But it's like, I don't cut the grass, and I purposely have taken a whole bunch of junk and piled it up to make it look, now it's a set, but it's also my backyard,
Oh, I love that. One of your really popular videos is the Kaepernick and burning the Nikes, which is it's the peak. It's like a pinnacle of perfect viral video. It's got everything that you could ever want in one.
What does it have? Because I'm curious to see what you think.
I love the ironic redneck character portrayal that you do.
That's not ironic. It's the fact.
That's the real me.
Right. We established that earlier.
I'm going to break character here in a minute and go into the real me.
Yes, we established earlier, that all your videos are serious. But I love the character. I love the backhanded messages that are also in it, like the subtlety of them. And I love the fact that you weren't just burning the Nikes, but you were burning the heels, and you burned the Mike for Indiana
The Mike
shirt.
Pence T-shirt is the thing that got me. I don't know if you had one or if you found one at a Goodwill or if it was
Goodwill.
If you borrowed,
literally just flipping through looking for shirts, and it said Mike in Nike font. And I was like, well, usually I try to get a couple different things and maybe this one will work better. But in my head, I'm like, well, there's no better shirt to burn than this one.
This is it. And it's the vice president. Did you know it was Mike Pence's shirt?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He was our governor. I mean,
awesome.
Wait, who is he? I just saw it and it said Mike and then, Mike Pence for Indiana, whatever it was, Indiana for Mike Pence. And I was just like, well, I have to stop. This not going to get better than this.
Yeah, that was it. That was perfect. That was the cherry on top. And then you ended it by stepping out of the shot and going, oh, damn, I think I inhaled some of that smoke.
And those videos are fun because it's literally everybody's uncle or dad. Those are the ones that it's an ice bucket challenge of you saw so many videos of people just burning stuff and then having their message of I'm done with and they're watching the season or whatever. So that's
is that where your catchphrase came from? Your sign off came from, or was it before? Go Coats.
Yeah, go Coats. That's just funny because my next door neighbors would say woof and Coats and, I told him, that kind of stuff, like when I was a kid. And then it was just so ironic to say, F the NFL and go Colts. It's I don't even have it would just be like, F NASCAR and go Dale. Like
the whenever I was
the machine that your character isn't, that your character is involved, the thing that made him popular. I hate that, but I like that guy,
Whenever I was perusing the internet looking for anything that I could about you, I stumbled upon the Indy Star article about you. And they had your sign off in there, and they spelled Coats. They spelled it Kotes, and it was. I was sitting in my truck, and I was on my laptop, and I was laughing out loud in the truck by myself. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it's any other way to spell it besides the proper way is how you should spell it.
I love it because there's no way that you could read that and not say it in that type of accent.
Yeah,
Coats.
it's Coat. It's Coats. It's just so fun to.
It's this. Yeah. We have this Southern Indiana drawl or culture that has come up, and you're like, well, yeah, that's everybody works with like 3 of these people, and you don't know how they've gone through life here. But that's it's just everybody in Newcastle moved here from Kentucky, whether it's 2 generations or 4 generations ago.
Being on the road and I'm talking for 30 minutes or 45 minutes on stage, and I have a Hoosier twang. I've said that I'm ambiguously Midwestern. They know I'm from the Midwest, but they don't know where. And I occasionally I'll hear it where I'm like, why did I say that word that way? Even my girlfriend's family, they're from
Delaware County, you said earlier, right? Gas City.
Yeah, Gas City. So they'll say, instead of color, they say, what collar is it? And they don't hear it, but I'm just like, why do you guys talk like that? You know,
Collar.
Yeah, collar.
You'll get a wash.
It's funny because
that's
even
the
around
biggest color
here,
line.
I can tell the difference of people from like Hagerstown
Yeah.
and people from Muncie. Even locally, I can tell the
We have
difference.
very
in dialect.
specific dialects in Indiana.
Yeah.
We were in Chicago last year, I think, and someone asked if I was from the South because I had a Southern accent. And I was like, what?
Yeah, and then you hear somebody with a real Southern accent.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Ooh,
my favorite are like the old timey accents, like what's his name, Keebler Elf Attorney General. You know
Jeff
him.
Sessions.
Yeah, Jeff Sessions.
Yeah.
His Southern accent. I love that accent.
Yeah.
The old.
That's the one thing you love about Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, it really was.
You know what?
I could listen to that, man. He should do every audiobook recording from now on.
I miss the 1920s. It's not even an accent. It's just extra, like talks real fast.
Hey, dog, how you doing tonight? Yeah.
Like that gangster kind of 1920s thing. And nobody ever talks like that now. That's one thing that's died out, it feels like.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Maybe that needs to be your next series of videos.
Yeah, just it'll be all black and white.
The next time the
Very
economy
sped up.
crashes, it's going to be you explaining things.
Have you
like
done any in a truck yet? Real angry?
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
The last couple ones I have.
That
are
seems like
called
a real good
truck
trend.
rants with a Z, and it's me just generally talking about what those guys would say in a truck.
So, now, the guy you're
Making no
talking about
specific points.
is Kade. Kade drives the
Ford F-350.
Ford F-350 lifted. You know, it's
How many times have you ranted in your truck?
Never.
Yeah,
I don't.
it's
Look
okay.
at his face got so
I
serious.
leave
He's
that
like,
for Facebook alone.
he got
It's
so
not even-
serious. He's like, I want everyone to know for real. I've never done it.
Guys, seriously. It's not even that people have a big truck. It's also like, I don't know if the attitude was there before the big truck or if the big truck pushed the attitude. It's like a certain type of attitude that those guys have when they're ranting in a truck. It's any kind of attitude where I know the answer. I'm the guy in the truck, or I'm the guy in anything. You know, I'm the expert. I just figured it out. You know, that kind of thing.
Yep, I love it. I love them, and because they're just so random. There's not really they don't formulate or think anything out. It's half the time it's literally just these guys. They get into a truck and they're in the Walmart parking lot. I just got out of Walmart and I saw a Mexican lady using food stamps. You know, and it's like,
Why do I gotta work so hard?
I gotta get to my truck and rant about this.
Sucking off my teat. Yeah, I love any time. I love to watch. It's hate watching because it is. Some of those guys
They're
are really
writing for
good.
you.
Yeah. Some of those guys are really good, and they know how to.
stealing that.
Yeah, they know how to talk. They're very good at it, but I don't agree with their message at all. So it's fun to watch somebody that's good at what they do, but hate what they're saying. You know?
yeah, yes. I love it. Hate watching.
Yeah.
I think we have some people that do that to us too.
we're like we're the only thing on TV. Poor Eldon Pitts is stuck in Eldon's coming off surgery and he's trapped in the recovery center, and it's us or CBS, and he's they're only on once a week. I'll watch Jeremiah, Dakota, and Chase and Peyton and
Not the fake news.
Cade, yeah.
Fake news CBS. Jim
Is that
Acosta.
one of the people that comment on your stuff all the time?
Eldon Pitts is watching now. He's one of the media members around the community. So
Hi,
we got-
Eldon.
Yeah. Cody Johns is watching from Utah. Mike Broyles is the landlord. He's in here complaining about
Can we fix the heat in here? No, I'm just joking.
It's a lot better now that there's not a blanket over the door.
Okay.
Yeah. Believe it or not, every week it's a little better. The door over your left shoulder that goes to the street. We've got the greatest view ever. Out the window we have a defense attorney, and then the bail bondsman, and then the jail. So it's just a line right out the door.
It's all justice out there all the time.
It's nothing but.
We're seeking justice. But we had a blanket that Dakota brought back from Mexico. That was our curtain, and we finally got some real blinds last week. So now the door isn't cracked open. Apparently, Cade's gone on strike. He's looking for union money. No, I just cracked open another one. We got a fridge in here now. That's a big improvement.
Yep.
I don't have to
We're
bring
making
my cooler.
improvements all the time. Half of it's because of the people. that are buying things off of the Amazon wish list. Go to Amazon.com and look up Boss Hog of Liberty, and you'll find our profile.
Mike Broyles is in the chat saying that we pay for our own heat. Yes,
Can we
that's
put
why
a,
we're so
can we
cheap.
put a wood stove in here?
I'm down. I'll do it. I don't know how to do it, but I'll learn. I didn't know how to
You
tile
can
a
YouTube
shower
it.
either, but I got it.
I think we need like a 9-inch hole saw, and we'll just stub it out through the brick facade.
My next video in a truck is going to be how these damn millennials don't know how to chop wood anymore. It builds character.
Yes, I
Teach you
love
twice. Once when you cut it and once when you light it.
it. I like it. There you go.
You took it seriously.
I burn wood for my house. I know what
Oh,
it's
you
like.
do?
Yeah.
Are you out all summer chopping wood, getting ready?
I missed it this summer.
Yeah.
I actually had to buy it, so I lied a little bit there.
You're
Real.
you're a fake farmer. I don't know what you were doing all
I'm
summer.
a fake wood burner too.
Real men burn coal.
The house is just full of black smoke.
I burn coal and roll coal.
It's clean coal.
I just backed the truck up to the window and just rev it up a couple times. Everybody falls asleep quick.
So you and
Buried
another
2
part.
kids.
One of your other videos that you do videos on all kinds of topics. One of my favorites that I watched was the Every Ghost Hunting Show Ever, because my wife and my mother-in-law are really, really big on ghost adventures. They love that show. So I have to suffer through it like once a week. And you did it perfect.
Oh,
I was laughing so hard.
I've done my research. I've watched all those shows.
So you're going through it, and it's like you portray all of the characters that are typically on the show. You have the guy that's just going, guys, it's getting colder in this area.
Yeah. And eventually, it's not hot in this particular spot of the house. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
We could probably go ghost hunting with the Zoom H6.
I think you
We
could.
could.
Yeah.
There's probably a spirit in here right now.
It's got a setting.
Well, that was
I think they're on channel 2.
that was the thing, is that I'm doing the research for this. I just watched that video, and I run across your interview for LEO, which LEO Weekly or something, I think is a Louisville magazine.
Oh, yeah, Leo.
Yeah. It's Leo, not Leo. Okay.
No, you should spell it out. It's funnier.
Leo is my favorite band, Speedwagon, Leo Speedwagon.
Yeah.
Duke Tomato is in that. Yeah.
But I learned that you had the opportunity to meet with the ghost hunters crew and go on a ghost hunting adventure with them.
Yeah, when I'm out on the road, I won't see them next week or whenever I'm in Tulsa. But there's groups of the show Ghost Hunters, and they had their satellite groups of, hey, we think this location is worth looking at. Why don't you guys go look? And if it's worth it, we'll go film there.
We'll see if you find enough ghosts that they'll show up on the TV.
Yeah. You get them treats and stuff. So I met the lady that's kind of in charge of all the groups, and they do a yearly gathering. So I went and did stand up for them, and it was at Waverly Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. So I went and did stand up, and we went and saw the tour. It's an abandoned building, there's 3 stories, but then there's like the basement with the crematorium. Ooh. And so it's we got to do the daytime tour, and that's cool because who doesn't like to walk through an abandoned building,
Yeah.
And then at night, it was from like 8 p.m. to midnight. So, and then every hour you just switch floors. And of course, during the day, they're like, here's where the girl, and you put the ball on the ground, and if you say something, she'll move the ball. Of course, you never find anything. But it's fun, and half of it was just being in an abandoned building.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had a guy in one of the groups. It was kind of like a mixer thing after the show, and there was a guy, and he had a tail and like some slippers and some paws, and he was a furry.
Mm-hmm. Oh God!
And then I was like, yeah, that guy's a furry, and he overheard, and he's like, no, I'm a scaly, because he was a dragon.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
that
I'm serious.
happened?
Yeah,
Oh
literally
my God.
nobody else wearing this stuff, just this one guy.
He's invented a whole race.
Yeah, looking to party at the hotel after the thing.
So yeah, did you get to tell any of your ghost hunting jokes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was weird because it's half making fun of that stuff, which I make fun of what I like, so I don't want to be disrespectful because that's what everybody's there for. So you have to spin it in the light of I like this stuff too.
I'm one of you. Here's why we're hilarious.
Yeah. And then I had some other Bigfoot stuff, which I say in my act that, ghost hunting is just Bigfoot hunting indoors. It's all the same. So you're just looking for fake monsters, So I did the ghost hunting stuff, and it was fun because it's kind of guerrilla comedy because they knew I was going to be there, but setup is not for comedy. I'm on the dance floor. I might as well be a waiting room to get drunk because that's what I know that's what they want, But it was a really good show overall, and I got to, meet all the people that were on the show, and everybody couldn't have been nicer. So it was a lot of fun.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Broyles has the place down on the river. He says it's ELO, not Leo. It's the ELO.
Oh, really?
And he lives down, or his summer home is down across the water from Madison. So we'll trust
Must
him.
Be totally dyslexic then.
And then Eldon Pitts, who we mentioned earlier, he says he'd love to go to Waverly. Eldon is the subject matter expert on the Catherine Winters story, coming up on 100 years, a little over 100 years. She was this little girl from Newcastle that went missing about 1912. I want to say, he'll correct me here in a second, but I want to say 1912. And they think she was captured by gypsies. We had a whole episode on that probably 2 months ago, and there's a movie coming
gypsies.
out. But the ghost hunters may want to come by here. We've got the Thornhaven Manor down on Spiceland Pike that some of the ghost hunting shows came and
Ghost
visited.
Adventures, the one that my wife and mother-in-law
With Zach Bagans.
Yes.
Not Baggins.
I'm
apparently.
Zach Bagans.
1913.
These are my ghost adventures.
They did a whole movie up in Gary, Indiana about that demon house.
Yes, that one is actually a really good movie.
Yeah, I saw it, and then they tore it down
Yeah, they tore it down at the end.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want to?
And then Zach Bagans rents a storage unit now that he keeps like a bunch of soil and stuff from where the house was inside of the storage unit.
Yeah, because
just in case the ghosts are in the dirt.
Yes, mm-hmm.
Just in case everything goes wrong and he needs to start selling haunted dirt online.
So I'm one of the biggest skeptics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
And that movie, it gave me chills. It
what
really
was
did.
the movie? Was it like a documentary or what was it?
Yeah, it's called Demon House.
Okay.
And you can find it on Netflix, I think.
If Gary, Indiana wasn't already scary enough, then there's a demon in this house. And he's like boarded in for the night, and there, one girl's possessed, and anytime that happens, I'm always like, oh, okay. But it's fun to watch. It's watching the Avengers essentially. It's all fake, maybe.
Yeah. The whole
Nobody knows.
The whole show.
I don't know what I'm most terrified of.
It was like
the people on the streets on 53 in Gary are being in the boarded up house with the demon.
Yeah, just keep me in the house, really. But the whole show is like a regular episode, and I'm watching it going like, And then he's in there, and he's got like a camera on him and stuff. And then you hear this like freaking demon growl in the hallway, and I was like, nope. This is whenever I would just be totally freaking out.
Check it out.
Yeah, that one freaked me out. Just sitting there in my living room watching it, I was like,
Do the demon people have political stories too, or do they stay away from it? They're apolitical.
I'm sure they vote for the most paranormal candidate. Whoever's closer to death is who they vote for.
So who did we have in the last election? My God, it was Donald Trump and old seizure lady.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of toss up of who's closer to.
I bet there was real division in the demon community with that one.
It was a split vote.
Yeah.
They couldn't
Who's going to
decide.
get the demon vote? We don't know.
We're out here. We got to go campaign at the Satanic Temple. Get that demon vote.
Do they have like different divisions, like the Southern Baptist demon people and the Methodist?
I think they go by different names, though.
Well, you get the.
Well, a Satanist is different from a devil worshiper.
Yes.
Really?
Satanists are
those are the sorts of things you learn at Ron
humanists.
Colley.
They're secular humanists, really.
Is there a wicked Westboro?
The wicked Westboro. I love it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Might be onto something with that one.
That's pretty good. It's all kinds of. Yeah, with the difference, I learned that my friend has a bit about it. He met a Satanist, and he's like, they're just Democrats that want to be a dick about it. Is what he said. Because I guess their theme is "do what thou wilt," but they're they just want to put a statue of demon on the courthouse lawn.
Mm-hmm. What's the god? Baphomet.
Yeah. Baphomet. That's what I always.
Baphomet.
No, it is Baphomet or whatever the thing is, but it's I would just call him Baphomet because
I like it.
Why not?
Close.
Why not screw with them?
Yeah, why not make fun of somebody's religion?
It's all on the table. Mm-hmm. So you talked about certain videos. All of a sudden, they go viral, and you end up boxed into this. Are you going to be a American flag waving redneck? I'm sure you're stuck with the beard now for life.
Well, the lady friend, my girlfriend, fiance, likes it. So, and it covers up the ugly. So, I'm stuck with the beard.
It's permanent. But you stumble onto this thing and it goes viral. So then it becomes a part of the formula. But then you're always searching, looking for what's next or what the next hook is.
Yeah, I guess, that's the thing that has garnered some attention. So, but I also don't want to be labeled as the redneck thing because that's been so overdone. But, if anybody's going to be burning jerseys and Nikes in their backyard might be a redneck, so that's who in my mind would do that, so. And now it's fun. It's kind of like writing for Bob and Tom where I'm given some circumstances. Kanye West is in the Oval Office and he says this. Make that funny. That's what's fun for me is to see if I can take that and make it funny and not make it like everybody else's. So purposely, I won't watch The Daily Show because they're great at what they do and better than what I am. But I don't want to say something that they said, even though if my video came out first. So if somebody sees The Daily Show, they're going to think I'm copying it because they're just a bigger institution,
Right.
Yep.
So you try to go into the what was the cone of silence, right?
Yes,
and
smart cone of silence.
Exactly. You go into the cone of silence and you disappear and you go write your joke, you make your thing, you put it out, and then you see how it washes.
Yeah, and and sometimes if the story is funny or if it's me reacting to the elections or whatever, you can kind of. Now I've made so many videos. Now you can fall back on the character being funny, not necessarily the situation being funny. Right. So I can yell to my cousin Terry that he better stop writing on my page. That's where I get watching other people rant about stuff because one guy that I love is like, stay off my page if you don't like what I'm saying, and like specifically every video will say that. Like it's going to make a difference, but it's fun to me.
Well, it's the guy that thinks that you posted a Facebook status and they have no idea how Facebook works, and then they think, well, you wrote this and you put it on my wall and you made me look at it, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, you clicked like, dumbass. That's the way. That's the welcome to the internet. I'll be your guide.
Yeah, it's not understanding.
Stop
the technology.
putting your stuff in my feed. Dang it.
Yeah. How do I unfollow this? I don't know. Why are you following me?
Speaking of people like that on Facebook and social media, do you have any just brilliant comments that show up on some of your videos?
Yeah, I mean, not so much now because I think people are onto it. Because the idea of the first couple was to make it as real as possible because the idea was to get people to watch it and think it was real and be like, yeah, but not listen to the words that I was saying and just... prove that they're dumb, but it seems like everybody's dumb because everybody shares it one way or the other. But yeah, there's been one I made my Facebook, like the header on my Facebook for a while because the guy, it was very generic. Oh no. Okay. I got to find it.
Sorry, we do this all the time. It happens.
Yeah, it's okay. We're a podcast, so it's not like you have to keep it rolling like you do on the Bob and Tom show.
This guy's, his name is Isaiah, and he says, bro, yo bitch ass live in a trailer park somewhere. Cut my grass or something. It was like generic of, hey, cut my grass or do anything. And then I posted that, and because I would take screenshots of the comments. If you're willing to comment on something, and I don't black out people's names because sometimes they're just being mean, and I'm like, I don't care if you're mean to me.
You said it out loud. I'm going to use it.
Yeah. So, and there are a lot of, and I've gotten messages of like half death threats, and that they're not going to do anything. Hopefully, we'll see.
I mean,
but it's
a good close scrape will get you a headline.
I know. Yeah. All I need is something to happen so I look like a hero. No, a martyr. No,
hero's much better than martyr.
Yeah. Just looking at comments, it's like people will watch the whole video and comment back to me what I said, and still think it's real. Like, it's one thing if you saw the clickbait headline to trigger an emotion, which is one of the lines in my truck rant videos of it's just clickbait headlines to trigger an emotion, and then I go on to the next thing. But it's one thing to get you to look and to click on it, and then I'll say man goes viral when I've got 5 views. I just posted, but that's what all those videos say. It's already viral before it came out. To trigger an emotion, and it's one thing if you saw the heading and commented, but it's another thing to quote it back to me and not get the satire and the jokes. I say F the NFL and go Coats. Like, I said, God forbid your daughter starts dating an Ewok in the Space Force video. Like, who talks like that? And there's arguments of people comment, well, in this day and age, it's hard to tell what's satire. And it is, but who says dating an Ewok? Every video I make, I'm like, this is too over the top. Nobody's going to believe this is real. And then tons of people believe it's real.
So you get a lot of people do you get people that are like in agreement? Like specifically the redneck burning the Nikes? Mm-hmm. Did you get people like, yeah, burn the Nikes?
Hell yeah. That or people, it's usually people, that agree that they hate the message that I'm saying. So they are pro-Trump or whatever. And they be like, it was too over the top. It sucks. But then the next line will be, this is perfect satire. Like, it's such a contradiction and it's a lot of troll people especially on YouTube, where their profile is just an eagle. There's no real information.
You don't know how much of the playbook you're playing from right now. Kate and I have the discussion that if you don't have a real profile picture, we don't consider you to be a real human.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a picture of something and you don't have your face, or your face isn't like, I click through your profile picture and I go through like 2 clicks and I'm like, oh, you're not real.
I don't take you seriously unless I can look up your work and get you fired. Yeah, it is frustrating.
Kind of like when I was joking and I had the viral Trump video when I plowed Trump into my field and took a drone video of it and it went huge. It was just because me and a couple of friends were joking about who would have more influence to get people to vote either way, because he was a huge Hillary supporter. And he was like, well, how much does all this propaganda really matter? I was like, I don't know. Let's see how many people we think we can persuade either way.
Well,
so
every year
we just kept one-upping each other, and I did the drone video, and it got to like 3 or 4 million views, and I wasn't even trying.
You were like on Fox.
Yeah.
Sitting there going like, yeah, I just plowed Trump in my field.
Yeah. I was just joking with my friends, and this is what happened. And they misquoted me completely, but it's all right.
Well, yeah, you were subject to their edit.
Yeah. It was probably Travis Week with the Courier-Times that hack.
Yeah, he can't do anything right.
No.
It's politics where it's like team-based politics where now it's not even picking who you think has your best interests in mind. Now it's I wear the jersey of that guy or that person. And that's,
The problem we have is there's a red team and a blue team, and Dakota and Kade and I play for the yellow team, and we just watch those two fight, and we go, well, y'all are half right. None of you believe anything you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's
just being right, whether it's being moral. That's out of the question. It's just being correct.
There's the simplest meme I've seen in ages, and it's the little it's a puppy or whatever, and does it bite? And no, but it'll hurt you in other ways.
Yeah.
And it slayed me. I've looked at it about 3 times in the last 2 days. And
I've seen you post it in like 30 of the groups that we're in.
I can't tell you how much I've laughed about.
Like, God, Jeremiah, I'm tired of it.
It's Republicans have never cut the size of government or whatever. They've never actually cut it, or they've actually cut government. Because I've had people tell me for the last 2 weeks since I lost this election, like, well, you should just run as a Republican. I'm like, I can't, because I'm not one of them. Yeah. And so I'm probably an emotional wreck, but I've seen this, and it spoke to me. Memes speak to you now. They're the modern political cartoon.
I was gonna say, how do you guys feel that memes have affected opinions as far as elections? I mean, election could be one of the biggest things that you take seriously, but of just opinions in general. Do you think it's because it's like 5 seconds rather than watching a whole news broadcast? I've got the opinion.
Because humans have the attention span of a gnat.
Yeah.
And we can go, yeah, Hillary's emails, bad.
Or it's clearly sharing a picture that was from something else that's not related.
Has nothing to do with it.
But then people will share it. Yeah. And it's both sides of, like, you can just go to Google and find out that picture was not taken. And people don't care. As long as it
fits your narrative.
View.
Yeah.
We are involved with. We're not the sole caretakers, but we are one of the many people involved with the Newcastle Turkey Project. and it's Thanksgiving week, so it's a big time around the Newcastle turkey. And we've had these discussions of, do you think the turkey's going to be like an anti-vaxxer, total like no hormone turkey thing, or is it going to be giving recipes, or is it just going to be worried about what's coming, or is it going to be, what's the turkey's persona going to be?
One of them went viral.
There was a political cartoon, and I found it and posted it or whatever, and it was the Elizabeth Warren one. It was 1024th bald eagle or whatever thing holding up a sign.
Yeah.
And I posted it from the turkey page, and then we shared it a couple of times, and it's thousands and thousands and thousands of shares. So the reach has been like 50 or 60,000 in 2 days.
It's over 100 now.
Yeah, and
it's funny how sometimes that's all it takes is a simple picture.
Yeah, it was. Were like within the first 6 minutes there were like 70 shares. I'm like, oh, this one's gone already.
Yeah,
it's huge, and you just know. I'm sure you know that from your stuff. You're like, oh yeah, this one's going to be huge.
Yeah, sometimes you can gauge for sure, and then sometimes you put 3 hours into making this 1 2-minute clip, and it does nothing. And then you're like, sometimes it's a picture. Like, who knows? It's crazy.
It's timing, and we all play this game. We're like, you don't know when to release something. You don't know how to.
I should have done it on Friday at 3:00. Everybody wants to go home. It's like all that dumb. And it probably just depends on who your followers are.
Who your followers are. Yeah. If you get enough shares and likes, and you meet that algorithm, and then all of a sudden it gets shared with the right people, and it goes.
Yeah, that also depends.
This game you play.
What the heck is Facebook's algorithm doing at that current week? Like, it's constantly changing.
That's one word that I could be fine never hearing again is algorithm, content, brand, any of that stuff.
It's all the buzzwords.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's you want to be a comedian, right? You want to be funny, and you want to get paid to be a stand-up comic. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of what we talked about earlier in the show is you have to you're your own. I assume you're your own manager, right? At this point, because I didn't have to talk to Bill in Indianapolis. I talked to Brent, and he answered. So I booked him direct, guys. Boy, was he expensive though.
Yeah, I'm not cheap.
That's why the heat's so damn low.
We even had to provide a Diet Pepsi.
No, I brought my own.
Looks right in the camera. No, these guys didn't even offer me a Diet Pepsi. I had to bring my own. I had to buy my own den pop.
Bring the car around. That's me. I gotta go. Sorry, guys.
He's got remote start. So yeah, but you're a shameless self promoter. That's the thing I've learned in this. And Dakota and I got into this little fake fight in front of our friends in one of our 9,000 group chats that runs our life. You're at the barbershop. All of our business gets conducted at MVP Barbershop on Memorial Drive. Dakota's in there getting a haircut, and this guy's like, yeah, I saw your banner hanging in the barbershop, and I started following the show. I'm like, well, what's the guy's name? Oh, I didn't get that. And Dakota's all like uncomfortable about being in public and being this celebrity and people know who he is. And I'm like, I want to reach through this phone and just strangle him. I'm like, your job is to promote the show. That's what we do.
Why would I have to promote it if he already said he was a fan?
Find out how we got him.
He already told me through the banner in the barbershop.
Now I get people come up to me after shows and they're like, oh, we love your videos. And now I want to know which video, which I know specifically. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the ones where I burn stuff, which I'd rather you had like something else, but I get that's what got me.
Now you're typecast.
Yeah. That's the thing. So, but I get it. It's like now you got to know, and I don't like to promote. I don't want to be like, hey, look how good I'm doing. But if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for me.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're not your number one shameless self promoter, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, my mom's not on Facebook, so nobody's going to do it for me.
No, I will tell you that my mom's also my harshest critic at the same time,
which is good.
Literally on Facebook, she ranked the page. Like you go in and you give ratings, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. My own mother, 3.5, 4 stars. I'm like, you don't know what you just did. I had to ask her to go back and be like, no, please fix it.
I didn't teach you to create content this way. Not in my house.
Meanwhile, Hody John's in the chat, our Mormon listener. He's like, you've dropped 2 F-bombs in 2 weeks. You're the Howard Stern of Wall.
Well, I did say the D word 3 times, so.
Dang.
Yeah, the other one.
We're in trouble.
We
say that all the time.
Okay.
What's that?
Beetlejuice going to show up?
Yeah, you never know. Yep, and the other side as well. My mother-in-law, Libby just jumped back in. I don't know where you went for an hour, Libby. You're back now. I saw you at the beginning, checking in, letting me know you're watching. But the family is ridiculously good at promoting me too. So inside of our ridiculously large family, we get a lot of promotion there.
It's also it's interesting that you guys have a page for a turkey, and that's that's the internet now. Is I got it from God's Facebook page.
Yes,
that if you follow that one, that one's got millions of. It's like you could just I follow Bobby Hill. It's not.
I love that
anything
page.
from.
I like the first review on the turkey page too. It's like these guys are assholes. They didn't do anything to help the turkey. They just made a profile and capitalized off.
They let it die. Let it get hit. Monsters.
Meanwhile, they're eating a turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
When it was going on, you just saw this crescendo building of the turkeys in the road, and it's in the news every day, and it's sitting in the road. You know it's going to get hit. You know it's going to be hit. And then it was like there was these news reports the day or so before of there's a dead bird. Well, it wasn't our turkey. There was still another turkey. And then the next day it's really dead. And then you have and then it's instant action time. Like
there's a memorial.
Turkey Team 6 has got to be out there and the memorial video is made. And I'm like, if there's not a memorial on the side of the road where the grease spot is from this turkey by sundown, we have failed.
Yeah.
And the community, literally, I go out there to put some, we bought flowers or something to put them out, and I'm like, dang, there's already a box of stuffing out there, and they had already done it.
Yeah.
We made T-shirts.
Yeah,
and then people got very angry because we were trying to capitalize off the death of the turkey.
Dakota made money off of it.
It's so weird how the internet will bring you together for such dumb purposes. It's like, like dumping an ice bucket on your head, or, that kind of thing where it's like or owling or planking or any kind of dumb eating Tide Pods.
Oh, I forgot about planking. Man, that was a thing for a week.
Sorry, I'm sorry to bring that up.
But I was always too fat to plank. I couldn't do it. I tried.
It hurts.
I was real big into planking. Me and Quentin Thompson were planking all over the place, climbing up basketball goals and laying down on the rims. Freshmen, sophomores.
Brent, how old are you?
29.
Sam, 35. Dakota's 22.
Yeah.
21, 22. You're 22.
I'm 22.
Cade, you're about 29.
28.
28, yeah. So I'm the world's oldest millennial. I was, and then Dakota is like the last of them, literally like in the last days of millennials being born.
It's my next movie, The Last Millennial. And it's just me sitting in there going, I don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
The boomers were right.
What's a newspaper?
I killed Applebee's.
Yeah.
You killed out, yeah.
And cheese, whatever that's another trend is blaming millennials.
Oh, yeah, we blame for everything.
Yeah.
Well, I have these fits of I don't understand the world. And I understand, my parents a little bit, my parents at the end of the boomers, and I get some of that now. I'm like, I have no idea how that happened. Last week I discovered on Snapchat there's this extra page of people that are all 20, 21 years old or 17 years old, and they've got 500,000 people on Instagram, and their videos. I'm like, what the hell is this guy famous for? I have no concept of what this kid does or why he's there, but he's and he's famous and he wears tennis shoes and there's 50% off of whatever the hell watch he's selling.
He's a sneakerhead.
Yeah.
That's how it's weird. I mean, it's the Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian. Was I think the start of it is famous for nothing.
They're the first of them. And now you've got this whole generation, and that I guess it works. You've got all you have to do is you have an audience, and you're a pitch man, and you're a pitch man for some product that I don't know. What are you hawking nowadays?
Emotional support beer koozies. Do
you have them? Or do you have one on you?
I have maybe in the car. I should have had them on the table.
And
printcomedy.com. No.
Poor planning on my part. I did mean to stock up on your brand of beer. Hams. But now you've got your own brand of koozies that they're all on, so you can't see the hams.
Yeah, I gotta feed me over hams. They're already doing hams is big enough.
So I agree.
When I was an early drinker, I saw hams at like one party in my life. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, 2-3 years ago, Walmart has hams, and everybody's got the hams.
Yep.
And the ham's light. And now hams is back again. So I'm assuming that you go to the Beech Grove Walmart, and that's where your hams come from.
Well, yeah, if I'm not fighting, I'm drinking hams at the Walmart.
He's got to go into Walmart, get his hams, and then go rant in the truck.
Sure hope I don't get in a fist fight on the way to the beer aisle.
Brent's walking through every Walmart with a three camera shoot, just hoping something breaks out.
Yes. I mean, if you're going to film somewhere, Walmart is not a bad place to get a video.
Yeah. Which is another video you have, is the Walmart video.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what that one was called. Oh, Walmart Thoughts. It could be any store really, except for Target, because that's nice.
In the video you actually say
we wouldn't know. We don't have one within 20 miles here.
Should have went to Target.
Yep.
Should have went to no, never mind. But yeah, it's just if you just go to a certain place, you just recognize certain things.
Have you done one at Goodwill yet? I think you could have some fun at a Goodwill.
Dude, I keep business and pleasure separate. I love Goodwill, dude. Like I have so many pictures of people's pets that they've donated, like professional. I have one of my bathrooms name's Brucey. He's a Chihuahua that I got at a yard sale. And it was just a photo, like a studio photo of some guy's Chihuahua. Not even the person that sold it to me. It
was a third-party Chihuahua photo.
Yeah, and so now I have just pictures on the wall of people's pets. And I do have like a stepson. His name is Brendan, that I never met. He had like the forest backdrop, but then his shirt is the Grim Reaper, and he's just like smiling, and I'm like, well, who donated this kid first? And now he's mine. He's my stepson. So every once in a while I find pictures of people's families, and sometimes I buy them, but other times I just, instead of having them in a row, I put it out so people can see it, just so people know that they're there.
Now they're the end cap.
Yeah.
A few years ago for Christmas, after I moved into my new house, some family member got me a magnetic picture frame. Mm-hmm. This is like I heart my dog or something like that. And I just went home and slapped it on my refrigerator. Didn't put a picture of my dog in it. Mm-hmm. And there's a black and white photo of an Australian Shepherd that says, "Your photo here." And it sat on my refrigerator for about 2 years. Yep. And then last year, we got an Australian Shepherd that looks just like the one in the picture.
You worked backwards on that one.
Yeah. It's like, hey. Well,
that's why you agreed to get Hank so damn quick.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we had to get the darker one.
Now, Brent, you've talked about your emotional support beer. And I want you to see the front page of our local paper today.
Okay.
This has been in the news. Oh, it just scrolled. Why does the internet hate us?
It's because you're old.
This is front page news.
Officials say no to pot-bellied pig.
So there's a lady
not in my town.
In our town that has had she's claimed that she has an emotional support pig. Mm-hmm. Pot-bellied pig, and it went all the way to the city council and the health department, and they finally said she's got 6 months to get rid of the pig. Or I guess I don't know. Maybe the mayor has to go in and remove it.
Have it in her yard, or does she want
in city limits
to take it to the bank?
No,
okay.
Yeah, she can't have it at all.
Okay,
but it's this emotional support animal.
What's going to happen to her if she doesn't get rid of it?
I assume she'll do hard time in jail.
I want to see that fight happen. I'll go to her house.
You want to go? You want to go with the camera?
I'll stand up to Mayor York for her.
Listen, buddy, get off her yard. Get a warrant.
I feel like you guys just found your new turkey page is the emotional support pig. The ESP.
The ESP.
Yeah.
I like it.
Dakota's going to have to run that one.
Yeah.
Those are the other news stories that I see often recently of the emotional support blank. And
yeah, there was the lady that tried to get her peacock on the plane. Yeah.
And I'm not insensitive, but it's a peacock or like a snake, it's just weird what people. So that's where that came from. Is I just said emotional support beer outside of that character, and I just wrote it down because I knew it would be something. It could be something. So then I just started to say it. So. And
now it's a koozie, and I hope it's a T-shirt. Is it a T-shirt yet?
Yeah, I just got I've already sold some. BrentComedy.com. And
keep going, man. If nobody
and it's Dennis the PBR logo. It's a parody of the PBR logo.
Nice.
Rather than hams. It just works better as PBR.
You turn your laptop around, I can zoom in on it.
We're efforting.
So they're not letting her keep the pig then?
No, it's got 6 months. 6 months. Eldon says he'll be there to cover. He's going to be there to cover the pig removal.
I'm not sure what's on the screen.
You have to join his email list.
Why don't you have a touchscreen laptop?
Because I'm cheap. I don't live the affluent life like you do.
Yeah, not all of us can afford an iPad.
Yeah. An iPad just to leave behind.
Some of us just had to settle for the Amazon Fire tablet.
I've started using Amazon Fires as that's another. All of these tech companies fight with each other. I bought a couple of Fire Chrome, the Fire, whatever the hell.
Yeah,
they run on Android, but they're a fake Android, and then Google hates Amazon, so I try to use it to cast to my TV, and the thing doesn't work. And
now I can't get YouTube on my Fire Stick.
Yeah. They're all at war, and we're the victims.
That's what I'm going to rant to my Prius about. Can't get YouTube on my Fire Stick.
YouTube won't play on Amazon, and none of the Amazon stuff is on the YouTube. And y'all are ruining my life.
Just very privileged problems to have.
Real OG original ginger.
Yep.
What is Mr. Turkey? This is your first album? This is the big time.
Yeah, I was went to all the way to number 1 on iTunes, and I was gonna say you guys have your Turkey page, and I was a substitute teacher for a day. It was a half day, and
made it to lunch.
Yeah, so the little kids, they could never say their letter R's, which is not a disease, but it's a disorder called rhoticism.
Why do they make it with an R?
Yeah, I know. So it's called rhoticism, and they can't say my last name Terhune, so they'd always be like, "Hey, Mr. Turkey," because they would just choose whatever word's closest. I got Mr. Turtle, and then I would have them call me Mr. T. So, but that's where Mr. Turkey came from. Is my first album. Just kids couldn't be able to say it, and now I just get people after the shows to be like, "Hey, Turkey," just walk up to me and say that. So
I like that. Hey, Mr.
It's cool when you finally get your audience and you've got your catchphrases and people connect with it though.
Yeah, I mean, as much as a catchphrase is dumb, but it's also like if people are going to latch on to something. And my catchphrases, as far as emotional support beer, was never intentional. But people are like, "You're going to sell those, right?" And I'm like, "I guess I got to." I mean, who am I to deny the free market?
Yes,
the market is demanding my free emotional support beer koozie.
Q is just O with his wiener out.
Yeah, that's the T-shirt and it's just a joke. So I get a lot of people that buy it because their name is Quentin or Q.
And like
I think it's a funny joke. So
it's pretty good.
You're targeting only guys named Quentin. That is narrow casting.
Hey,
I thought East Central Indiana's favorite podcast and the number 1 tractor podcast in all of Indiana was narrow casting, but no, just dudes named Quentin.
No, but it's a market that's not being met right now.
That's
so
right.
I'm thinking of branching off into people named Quinn, nickname Queenie. She was on American Horror Story this season. That was a character. Just anybody named Q. I'm thinking I'm going to open it up to everybody named Q.
Those that are questioning.
Is that real? What was your did you say something about a tractor podcast?
Well, we are. This is not a joke.
Okay.
Our listenership goes down when the tractors get put away.
Okay.
Farmers listen. People in combines, people on tractors, planting season, harvest season. Now they're all on the deer stands and they're not listening to a damn thing we say. I apologize that we didn't have you on 2 weeks earlier when they were still running beans.
I was in the car for 20 hours last week doing various one-night gigs, and I listened to audiobooks, podcasts, stuff like that. So
shows you got coming up. You're going to be in Indy, the local crowd. This is the time to sell. You're going to be at Morty's. No, you're not. You're going to be at Crackers. And they've moved it. Every time I turn around, Crackers is in a different spot.
This one's been there for a couple of years because they've had 2 locations.
Well, see, I was always a Broad Ripple guy.
Yeah.
And now it's just gone.
Yeah.
Rest in pieces.
Which I think I haven't been to Broad Ripple recently because there's no reason for me to go
there. Because you're like over
there,
25 now.
I guess, yeah. I don't like to black out. I'm at Crackers Comedy Club. It's on Delaware Street downtown. I'm there sooner, but I'm headlining in December 22nd through the 22nd. So that's when I'm headlining. If you want to come out, you can send me a message, and I'll see what I can do about tickets and stuff like that.
Front row, yeah.
I have the 2 old Muppet seats up in the balcony, and you're welcome to heckle me. Don't heckle. Don't ever go to a show and heckle.
I would love if there legitimately are if there was this place that
just balcony,
just had the 2 spots.
You got to climb a little ladder to get up there.
I'd love just to be.
There's still a 2-drink minimum, but they got to serve it to you on a pole.
Yeah. That's what they called it, the Lincoln Suite.
Especially if there's not a full house downstairs, and they're like, "Why'd that guy go there?"
He paid. It's premium. That's what it is.
He paid extra.
Yeah. So December 20th through the 22nd. And I've not talked to anybody about this. I did it a couple years ago, but I was thinking about making the shows for Toys for Tots. So you can look at my social media. That's not been confirmed, but I'd rather 99% of the toys go to charity, because if I get a Stretch Armstrong,
that's yours.
It's mine.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah.
And then you played over at Wiley's in Dayton. You do all the local circuits.
Yeah. Go Bananas in Cincinnati. I mean, pretty much anywhere. My schedule's on brentcomedy.com. As I look to the camera again.
I'm on it right now.
Yeah. So I go all over.
How the hell are you going? Dubuque, Iowa, Cleveland, Ohio.
That was last week.
And then you went where was
back
Penguins?
to Iowa. Yeah, back to Iowa. That was.
Were you drunk that day and you said, "Oh yeah, I'll do Cleveland on a Friday"?
That's where I wish I would have had somebody book my show, so I'd have that to blame on somebody. That's a weird thing. Where on Wednesday I was at a casino. Thursday is nothing. So you either pay for your own hotel, or I got asked to be a part of the Cleveland Comedy Festival, and I have friends there. I like it, so I was like, you know what? It's 8 hours, but I'm still going to go do it, and then I'm going to come back. Otherwise, that's terrible routing. I'm aware of that.
I'm a traveling salesman, and I do the Midwest all the time, and I do some horrible trips too.
Yeah.
But,
no,
that's
that's where a lot of the podcasts came in. And I did a nudist resort this year. I've done a prison
on a cold day.
On a cold day, yeah. In February was the nudist resort, and I still
wanted to make sure you were going to have a sweatshirt on. Is what happened.
I still shrunk up during the prison show.
I read about that one too. Whenever I was looking, why?
Which one?
The prison show.
Prison. I mean, for the story. The idea.
It's just good enough for Johnny Cash. Damn it, we can do it too.
That's what in your head when you're asked to do a prison show, you're like, well, Johnny Cash did it and he did just fine. But also Johnny Cash was a celebrity and everybody knew him. When I went in, literally it was me and Jeff Oskey did it too. Another guy that works for Bob and Tom, and we're walking in. So you have to go through security. You have to leave your phone in the car. And we're walking through the yard. So it's like exercise equipment and picnic tables, and the prisoners are just out, and there's like
you have no protection.
There's a
guy
guard.
making $14 an hour.
Yeah, there was one guard, and she had a walkie-talkie and this many fingers on one of her hands. She's missing fingers. She had the pinky, and we're just walking through the yard, and the prisoners are just walking up to us like, "Are you guys gonna be funny?" Because
I hope so.
Yeah, it's not like going to a small town where they might know there's the show, because the show's the thing that's happening. Mm-hmm. Everybody's known it. There's been a flyer up on the board when you go eat or whatever. So we're mid-court in a basketball court with like a Radio Shack system, mic. And there's like 300 prisoners and one guard. I'm sure, they could get there quickly. But yeah, and then walkie-talkie lady. Just so we're performing mid.
The one good finger's reserved for pressing the comm button.
Yeah, and if they cut that off, we're screwed. But yeah, there was like guys with their shirts off. An eye patch was sitting up front.
Bonafide pirate.
Yeah, like just intimidate. I mean, prisoners in general are just intimidating.
Hey, we learned from SNL you can't make fun of people with eye patches.
Oh, yeah,
no, if you do, they'll come on the show next week.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was a great episode though when they came back.
Yeah, it was actually. I watched that clip. Yeah,
but it was just intimidating, and 300 prisoners. And at the end of my set, somebody yelled out, "You stupid," which is good. But it was intimidating because you don't want to say anything wrong to make a prisoner mad, let alone 300 of them. But yeah, that was an experience to say the least.
Yeah, there's a famous hunter. I can't remember his name.
Kade Koger.
No, not Cade. Sorry, but he said
Ted Nugent.
He said that he said there's two types of fun. One type of fun is the first type of fun is immediate gratification, like going on roller coasters. The second is whenever you're miserable in the moment, because those are the stories that you tell and people laugh at later, and you have fun about for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
nobody tells stories about riding roller coasters and how fun it was then. They tell the story about how you were totally miserable and thought you were going to die.
Yeah, get shanked.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to point out, because everybody's been on a roller coaster, so like how much can you describe
Hey, remember this time we went on the Vortex?
Yeah, I was there too. So. Yeah, it's
it went upside down.
I recently what did I do? A group of doctors perform for them. It's weird because like anytime you're performing for a group that knows everybody, whether it's an office party at the show or doctors, it's always weird because you could say one inside joke and lose the whole audience because they're joking with each other, and now I'm the guy joking, but I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's such a intimate setting.
Yeah, it is. And if everybody knows everybody, it's like a bachelorette party. Like they can take over the show if you let it.
Do you try to do your set or do you try to do audience interaction? What's your approach? Because a lot of guys do it both different ways.
Yeah, I mean, usually I go for my set if I can tell that it's not going. I want everybody to leave having a good time. So whatever way that is, I can talk to the audience. It also depends on where I am in the show. If I'm the first guy, usually there's 3 people on the show. If I'm the first or second person, I try not to talk to the audience so much because then that would make the audience think, oh, it's okay to talk, so we're going to talk to this last guy.
Really
maybe
screw the last guy over.
Maybe the last guy wants nothing to do with the audience, And some people, all they do is crowd work, and they're fantastic at it. For the most, there's certain people, Jimmy Pardo, Ian Bagg is another guy that's really good, and they'll talk to the audience the whole time. But then that's also weird because you can't go on the Tonight Show and be like, "What do you do for a living?" But that's a specific skill to be funny off the cuff for an hour. It's hard. That's like on Bob and Tom. When I leave, I'm exhausted. All I did was be on the radio, but it's like your senses are heightened. You're like, I got to be funny right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh yeah, I get that. We've started getting emails if we say something wrong on the show. So now it's like, dang it.
The important thing is that we don't care.
I have to be careful with my words now.
Yeah,
that sucks.
You got to address the show notes at the top of the podcast for last week.
Yeah.
Here's our list of apologies.
Yeah.
I'm more of, honestly, what the hell do I care anymore? Now it's like, they listened. I truly... You have your opinion. I'm glad you're listening either way. We're going to do our show, and it is what it is.
My thing is just making sure I don't get something blatantly wrong. I don't care if you have a disagreement with my opinion, that's fine, but I don't want to be like, scuba diving causes 36% of deaths in the Pacific. And someone be like, it actually causes 35.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Which I read a meme on both of those. Both of those facts. Yeah, it's weird how nitpicky people get with being so conversational for an hour, and then they'll write in and be like, "Actually, that's this," and you're like, "Come, dude, that's the one thing you heard out of the whole conversation."
And then there's times where you get them and you're like, "Wow, I don't even remember saying that."
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
This is episode 88. Okay, hell if I know.
I've said a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, and you announced your new Netflix special is going to be recorded with the Ring doorbell.
Yeah, with the Ring of the doorbell. Well, I have a couple coming out. I have one. It's Brent Terhune cover comedian. So I'm not stealing. I'm covering all these fantastic comedians, and I'm doing one with the Ring doorbell. A lot of knock jokes on that one. I'm recording one with the backup camera of a 2010 Prius. And I'm having one with my mentor Jeff Foxworthy. His advice told me, he said, just be yourself. So my special is you might be a redhead, which that is actually a video I want to make of just me doing you might be a redhead jokes. Because I did make a video of Brent Terhune cover comedian because it just seems absurd. Because there are people like, I was just paying homage. No, you were just stealing jokes. That's what you were doing.
Sampled.
Yeah, poorly. Not as good as Bernie Mac,
I was shocked. So I went door to door on like 5,000 houses. Every Saturday and Sunday for the last 3 months, we went door to door. These Ring doorbells are everywhere. That's in the nicer neighborhoods. My neighborhood doesn't have them yet, but everybody's got one of the damn things.
Either you can't afford it or you don't think you have enough nice stuff to care.
Yes.
I think, I don't know how the hell you get power to it. I don't know if it's battery operated. It seems like a hassle to put up.
I was looking into them. I mean, you can have battery, you can hardwire it, I guess. If you already have a doorbell that's there, you can take the thing off and run
plug
the
into
wires.
It.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my Christmas, Sarah. Hint.
Black Friday on Amazon.
Yeah.
On the Amazon wish list for this podcast.
Search Boss Hog of Liberty on.
Was that did you get that for Audrey? Your anniversary was yesterday, by the way.
Congratulations.
Let's mark some time.
It wasn't yesterday. It was
or 2 days
Sunday.
ago. Whatever.
Yeah, it was Sunday.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
I put a vanity in at the house.
You nice.
Yep.
You're married?
I am.
How long have you been married?
Sunday was 1 year.
367 days.
I'm a poor listener.
Cade's the old married guy at the show. You've been married like 3, 4, or 5 years.
Yep.
I don't know.
4 years.
How many times?
Once.
Just the
Wow,
once.
that's crazy. This day and age.
And I'm like, I don't even know, 4 months, 5 months into marriage. Dakota got married, and basically the entire time the show had existed, one of us had been engaged, and Dakota got married in November. So then in December, I was like, damn it, we need it for the ratings. I asked Sarah to marry me.
Yeah, you got to appear more relatable to the listeners.
Yeah.
It's a good move.
Yeah, but then it happened so fast. I was married by July, so we've been trying to peer pressure Chase into getting married.
Everything we do now is for content.
Yeah. Yeah.
How will this affect the listeners?
Yes.
What's going to get clicks? Literally, I shamed. Sarah's tagging me. Oh, yep. I think I just got myself a Ring doorbell. Thank you, Sarah.
One ring to rule them all.
I still have to pay for it. But yeah, we created a poll. I think there's a Facebook poll out there right now on the Boss Hog page of Chase Peyton, and which one did we were picking on him last week about. You can show Brent on one of the 97 devices we have, but basically it's 8th grade Chase versus 10th grade Chase.
Okay.
I just like to beat up on my friends now, so I go back and look at their pictures. And
Yeah.
Facebook's been around 10, 12 years, so there's pictures of. You look at me and I look the same. I was like 22 when I got on Facebook. Mm-hmm. You look at Dakota and he's like 7th grade.
Yeah, it is weird to
So
look back.
it's like it's child abuse now.
Yeah.
So I pick on Chase and I go and he's wearing his Hollister t-shirt.
Yeah.
And he's got the duck lips or whatever. So I'm which Chase did it better. So there's the poll right now on the Facebook page.
I'm going to look back, in 2018 and, in 2028, I'm going to look back and be like, man, I was so skinny back then. That's it. Yeah. I don't know, 10th grade or 8th grade. I don't know. That's a hard call. Because
it's been
your
close
shirt
the
is
entire time.
What is that, Hollister and one, right?
I think they're both Hollister shirts.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I was never cool enough. I always had
super close.
I always had like big dogs. I never had like the the cool.
If you can't
trendy
hang
stuff.
with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
Exactly. Ocean Pacific. I mean, whatever the store brand at Walmart was at the time, that's pretty much the shirt I had.
For sure. Yeah.
We never went to the mall. That wasn't my family.
I went to the mall, but I never bought anything. I was a teenage mall walker. So you hit all the stores. You go to Spencer's and Hot Topic. You go to FYE or whatever the record music store is. But then I know the mall in Greenwood, Indiana really well, but I never bought anything there. I'm the reason that they're going to go out of business.
In the same way, you just walk around and you're like, wow, would be nice to be able to buy that.
Yep. Yeah. Or you just fish through a bin of DVDs hoping to find something good for $1.
Yep.
I
True.
walk into a Walmart and I just dig through the DVDs.
I've started. This is the middle class life I live now. I go through the Walmart discount bin. I find old comedies and I put them in the Tahoe so that we can have them for the back seat. So when we take a road trip, I've got Tommy Boy.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
you're so privileged.
Starring Chris Farley, whose brother is going on the road now.
I'm gonna get the Brian Regan box set for the car, and when we go to Chicago in January, I'm gonna make Dakota suffer through it.
I'm getting married next October.
Are you
13th? You can get tickets now. The tickets are out.
It would be easier to sell tickets. And then you'll know how many people are actually coming.
I know, yeah. It'll cut down on costs.
How far into the wedding planning are you?
We were supposed to get married this past October, but she's no. No. Love you. Nothing's
Listen,
wrong.
Our chat had gone quiet until I made the comment about the doorbell and me having to pay for it, and now they're all picking on me. So good luck.
Well, I just took all the heat off you and put it on me. No. We just decided to wait because it's a Halloween wedding, so we waited till after this Halloween, and we bought all the Halloween stuff. So now we're just doing a big.
That was brilliant. That was a good move.
We want everybody to wear costumes. And you guys are invited. No.
Oh, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I've got the Burgess Meredith penguin suit that I did like 5 years ago.
Seriously, he'll be there. If you invite him, he'll be there.
No, I don't have to give a gift.
Yeah, I don't.
It's way too much.
I was looking on Amazon, looking at me like, well, if they're giving it to us for free, we might as well get this. That's the thing where you're like, we don't need it, and I don't really want it, but it's free, so we might as well.
That's how it was
for
with us. It was like, we could use a new toaster, and I was like, get one of the ones that's like a 4-slot adjustable, and it takes bagels, and you're like, no one's gonna buy a $70 toaster. They did.
Get the one with the Wi-Fi.
We got 3 toasters and didn't register for one. Yeah, that's a miracle.
Somebody
of
must
science.
have just invested in toasters, because it's like you buy toilet paper because you're going to need it, and you buy toasters because somebody's going to get married.
Yes.
That's on sale. I'll give it to Brent next year when he gets married.
I want a toaster with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Control it with my phone.
You can bring one in here. Bring one of your 3
What the hell do we need a toaster for?
Alexa, medium brown.
I've gone full group. I've adopted the full Google life, where now I just say, Google, okay, Google, set the temperature to 70 degrees. And they're like, no, dumbass, you're at work. It doesn't work here.
Yep.
It only works at the house.
I'm an Alexa man myself.
Are you?
Yeah.
I
had to pick one, because you can't be like, okay, Google, Siri, Alexa. You can't have all those women in your life.
No, it's too complicated.
Nope.
I don't know. We chose Google. We're a Google family.
Are you happy with it?
I'm very happy with it, but like everything else, sometimes it doesn't listen well.
Of course.
Or the one in the third room over listens to you, because we got the little $35 pucks everywhere.
Yep.
And you'll say, okay, Google, set a timer for 20 minutes. And then the one that's on the other side of the house goes off, and you're like, damn it.
Is this where we start the unboxing?
Yes, this is the unboxing video will be next. No, if Google wants us to sample whatever the greatest thing is this year at Christmas, we'll happily do it. Sarah's...
She's talking. She's
I don't know.
Correcting you that she really did register for a toaster.
Apparently I did.
All right, we're an hour and a half into this podcast. It's time to wrap this.
Yeah, we're
baby
talking
up.
about toasters, so
Yeah,
that's how you know.
Welcome
it's
to
time to
Toaster
wrap
Chat.
up. Yeah, we're not
Another Bob and Tom classic.
Here's Haywood Banks with toast.
Yeah.
Toast. I'm doing that as a cover comedian.
Brought to you by Procter and Silex, or whatever the hell the name is. All right, Kade, tell us the story of your hunting. Final thoughts. You've been deep in the woods. Every time I looked at your Snapchat this week, you were covered in blood, and you were a human butcher. You were a butcher of all animals.
Yep. My family hunting is a family experience, and everybody had pretty good luck this weekend. So, me, my dad, and my stepmom, and my little brother, we all had luck hunting. So, been a good year so far.
Is there a certain kind of is there a buck, 10-point buck? I don't know what you were going for. Did anybody get like a good one?
Yeah, me and my dad, we both shot the biggest personal records. So,
yeah. What was yours?
It was a big 8-point.
Okay.
He got a big 11-point.
He was
wow.
tall.
Yeah.
Yours is tall.
Yep. So
You shot an entire family.
yeah,
Between your stepmom and you think you shot mom, dad, and the 2 kids within 20 minutes.
within an hour. Yep.
A little Amityville horror style going on there.
It's a mass murder.
No,
Where is it coming from? Oh
Yeah.
God, I don't
it
even want
worked
to
out-
live anymore.
It worked out perfect. I mean, now I don't have to go sit out in the cold anymore. I got it all done in the first hour. So
Do you mount them?
yeah. We'll have both the bucks we took this year mounted.
Okay.
So,
You're
Well,
gonna take the old one and hang it up in here.
Which wall are you going to put it on in here, in the studio?
probably that one.
Nice, it can be in the camera shot.
Yeah. I do have one that we can mount in here if you guys want one.
I mean,
I would take it.
I found out we have
All right,
black
I'll
bear
bring
in Indiana after somebody hit one on I-64 yesterday. So I'm thinking maybe a black bear, but in the meantime...
here's a redneck story. I had a buddy hit one with a dump truck, and it was outside my farm, and I had trail cam pictures of it. So I had an old Toyota Camry that we bought, and we just used it for like a demo car, and we just drive it around and beat the hell out of it. And he wanted it for scrap. So I traded him the mount that he got for the buck that he killed with a dump truck for my Toyota Camry because I wanted it because I had trail cam pics of it. Basically, I fed it its whole life.
Okay.
But I just thought it'd be cool to have. But
Yeah.
I could bring that in. We could hang it up here.
First,
Perfect. I want a roadkill mount. Absolutely.
Yeah. Dump truck, Henry County buck too. So yeah.
It says Mac on the side of it.
Yeah, it's stamped right into his neck.
I did a show at an old funeral home, which was converted into a community center. And the guy that was running the funeral home came to the show, and he traded a whole funeral for a 4-wheeler. So if you ever are down on your luck and you need something, you could probably change it for a 4-wheeler.
Yeah,
I like it.
Dad died. Will you take his Honda?
He was in the Honda, so it's not in good shape.
Oh man! All right, Kate, you got anything to promote?
I don't think so. I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving and a safe Black Friday. I've got some semi tractors for sale. We're selling our semi fleet, and we're getting new semis.
You bought a new one. I saw that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You buying Teslas?
No, they're a little expensive for me. Hopefully, 20 years down the road, we might be able to afford those.
The important thing about Black Friday shopping, if you go, is that you don't do vertical video. Take the horizontal video when they're beating the hell out of each other, because you don't want to be that guy to have your video go viral and then have the bars on the side.
Yeah, be prepared.
Amateur.
I agree.
Yeah. Have some pride.
Yep.
I'm taking the Mevo to Tennessee with us and putting it in Kohl's.
All right. Mr. Terhune.
Mm-hmm.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I just got a big TV yesterday, and I paired it with Alexa. And that's what's on my mind.
That's all I'm worried about.
It's a 4K.
How big is this TV?
70-inch.
Oh,
Nice.
Comedy's been good. No.
That, and they're $342 now.
Yeah. It's so I got a big TV, and it's changed my life. If I thought I didn't get stuff done before, this is it.
I tried to.
We found the pinnacle.
I know.
We walked through the Walmart yesterday, and Sarah and I were walking back from the electronic. We were buying extension cords or something, and we were walking back towards the grocery, and we walked along the back wall at the Walmart, and it brought us through the along the TV wall.
It starts to get warm,
and I looked, and I'm like, I was like, man, Sarah, it's hard to not get one this year. We really need one. We don't need it. We have like 9 TVs.
Of course, yeah, I'm the same way.
But
that one flickered.
Yeah, but we got the one turns off and on all the time, and that's the big one.
Yeah,
and it's a 50-inch, and you can get a 72-inch for $300.
The remote stopped working in this one.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
what
took the batteries out.
So yeah, we don't need another TV, but man, it's like we could. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be a guy that'd be like, yo, you got it on Blu-ray. But I'm not. Like, I'm a guy, if it's cheap, I'm gonna buy it. But yeah, now I'm concerned about formats, which that's like an old person thing of
I got
wanting
you on that one.
Yeah, for me, that I've never been that type of guy. So now I'm like, I'm not watching this on.
I can't
regular
watch 480i.
DVD.
I'm not an animal.
Yeah.
It's got to be 720p at a minimum.
Yeah.
I really want 4K. Yeah.
In reality, I'm watching stuff on my phone all day long. I'll watch. If it's fuzzy, my brain just adapts to it, so it doesn't matter. But
you have no problem watching
but
pirated videos on the internet.
Whenever it changes suddenly, you're like,
yeah,
this is horrid. Where am I, Africa?
You find them in a lot of comedy club green rooms. They've got whatever TV they bought when the club opened, or they went to Goodwill, which doesn't even take those big TVs anymore.
Yeah.
But then you're watching and you're like, how did we ever watch this? But then it was like, that was the best we could get at the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's as good as we had. Luckily we're all ill, we're all the HD TVs or whatever, but we're trying to get rid of at our house. We've got this free to a good home, or any home really, if you all want it. It's going to be hacked up Sunday at the latest, probably Friday. I've got like a 9-foot by 6-foot wide by 3-foot deep cabinet that's in the bedroom for the TV.
You're still trying to get rid of that thing?
Yeah, I gave up the dream earlier, and now I'm really going to get rid of it over the long weekend. And there's just like literally a 32-inch TV, and I'm like, why the hell isn't this just hanging on the wall? It's in this. It takes up more room than we have. So,
do you live on a fairly busy street? Because if you just put it out by the curb, that'll be gone.
It weighs more than all of us combined.
But if they are dedicated to get it,
I'm just saying, I got to get it. I've got to get it out of the house.
Yeah.
The friends that helped me carry it upstairs, I haven't seen in years because I had them carry it up the stairs with me.
Yeah, and you paid them pizza and beer.
Yeah,
that's the universal.
We were all much younger then,
You
and
gave
now
them hams.
Yeah.
They were like,
Yeah.
screw you.
Yeah. Hams. And Little Caesars. I'm out of here.
Now I go to the chiropractor twice a month, and I'm like, I told the dude today at lunch, I was like, I think what we're going to do is I've got a new saw. I'm just going to cut it up in the bedroom and make Sarah run the shop vac behind it. And hopefully we don't have sawdust everywhere.
If you do it over the top, that is a viral video. If you just have your wife be like, "What are you doing?"
It's anything for content.
Yeah.
If it's for the clicks, we might do
Use
it.
a chainsaw.
Take the saw and
I'm
rev it up
tired
into
of
the
this
camera.
thing in the bedroom.
Go full Clark Griswold. Fix the newel post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm
how
just
it
trying to
goes.
create some content here on the show. That's all I'm doing,
Hey, you're a big help, Brent. Maybe we should. How much is Bob and Tom paying you?
Not enough. Whatever I work for, it's not enough.
Never enough. All right. Well, we thank Brent very much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me on the show.
This has
It's
been fun. You suffered through driving all the way to Newcastle to do East Central Indiana's favorite podcast, but it's been fun.
The shortest drive I'll have this week.
Dakota, you're leaving us. I was setting an extra spot at the Thanksgiving table for you and Audrey to have some turkey with us.
Sorry.
That
You're
sounds like
skipping
an
out.
invite on my part.
Yeah, I'll bring you up too.
We'll be there.
Yeah, you come to my Thanksgiving, I'll come to your wedding.
Yeah. I'm going to dress like I'm at my wedding at your Thanksgiving.
I can't wait.
Why is he wearing neck bolts?
It's an outreach program.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go to Tennessee and I guess you're gonna have like a Dolly Parton Christmas or something.
Yeah. All my family's from Sparta, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. That's where we hail from.
Where's that? Is that by Nashville, Knoxville?
By Chattanooga.
Okay.
Knoxville area.
They've got good choo-choos down there.
East
They
Tennessee.
do. Yeah.
Damn near Georgia.
Yeah, it's about a 6.5 hour drive.
Yeah, about an hour from Atlanta, something like that.
It's fun though.
Sarah,
it's a good time.
I'm pretty sure Sarah just said yes to the chainsaw video. So
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Better do it.
She's such a good wife.
I've got one at the house if you need to borrow it.
Yeah.
I'll leave the shed
She's gonna have
unlocked.
so much vacuuming to do after all the sawdust.
Dakota has all the tools we need to borrow. I still gotta come get that leaf blower sometime.
Move it out at night in a tarp, and that won't look suspicious at all.
Rolled up in a rug.
Yeah.
It'll be the world's largest bonfire.
Just be.
I'm just gonna burn it in the driveway and see what's left.
Yeah, that would be good.
I mean, literally, this thing is like the size of 3 caskets. I mean, it is massive.
I love that caskets are a unit of measurement. It's like 3 of them.
It's like 3 caskets side to side, very nicely varnished.
To take one casket, put 3 of them together.
Yep.
That's what you got.
Wow.
But extra tall.
Big. Okay.
Dakota said he was going to start running chickens at his house. You need to take it down there and just run chickens out of it.
It would be a beautiful chicken coop.
Would it?
Truly.
That's all right.
How's your back?
I'm not taking it. I have a pretty big burn pile. If you want to take it out there and burn it,
Burn barrel. I have my house came with a burn barrel, and it got tired and old and worn out and fell over, and so I got another burn barrel, and that
burn
one's bad
pile.
too.
It's like a 5-foot
Yeah.
pit.
If-
You burn stuff in.
If your house has more than one burn barrel,
You might be a redhead.
you might want to take some videos of my backyard.
I was going to say, if you drop that off in my backyard, I'll use it as a prop for my videos.
If you can help me carry it out, we will load it in your truck tonight.
Well, yeah, we'll squeeze it in the. I got to set the 70-inch TV in a Prius, by the way.
Did you strap it on the roof?
No, I put it in the back.
Got it in there.
The guy helping me load it condescendingly said, "Well, this will be interesting." I put a mattress in there. I know what it, and it fit just fine. So
The guy works at Walmart.
Derek at Target. I don't know if that's his real.
You bought
name.
it at the Target.
Yeah, I know.
God dang, comedy has been good to you.
Hey, when you get a good paycheck and you blow it and then you pour again, I won't ever have that much money again.
Oh, this was nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Mike Broyles, a final thing from him. I woke up last night at 2 a.m. with a chainsaw running at Clancy's car wash. Maybe you can call that guy. Mike, that's what you get for living behind the Clancy's. That's really your fault. All right, final thoughts from me. I am, I don't know. Hell, I don't know. Have a good Thanksgiving. Once again, if you take a viral video, do it horizontally. That's the most important thing to take out of all of this.
That's
and
it means like this.
yeah. Take
Landscape.
just like your video is here. Because what happens is when you take it vertical, I'm speaking directly to Sarah now. When you take it, this is an argument we have all the time. Married life, this is what I've learned. she'll say, no, I can see more this way. But then when it goes viral and they put it on the TV, then you've got the bars, and then it says credit to Boss Hog of Liberty, and then we look like the dumbasses because we couldn't turn sideways. That's the way the world is viewed. Take your videos horizontally.
If somebody's deep frying a turkey, just have the camera rolling.
That's right. BrentComedy.com.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to talk some friends into coming and seeing you at the Crackers.
December 20th through the 22nd. So,
and you're headlining.
Yes.
Who are the other guys? Do you know yet? Do you know the front end comics? Are they the guys we're gonna know?
Local Kid Done Good, Matt Backus. He's from New York City, so he's coming back home. And then Isaac Landfort, who does a lot at the White Rabbit Cabaret. He does a lot of characters and stuff, so he's going to be opening. So.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, that's how good he is. You've heard of him.
Perhaps you've heard of me.
It'll be a fun show, top to bottom.
All right, awesome. And it's the time when nobody's working anyway. It's New Year's. So
yeah.
All right, very good. We will see you all a week from Thursday.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at WeAreLibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to WeAreLibertarians.com, and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeAreLibertarians.com.